Yeah, I'll be talking about and analysing the audience research that I conducted in regards to Digipack content and Digipack design. The first question which I posed was asking my audience. I gave a questionnaire to 30 different people with varying age range and genders, and asked them to complete the questionnaire. And the first question I asked was whether or not they prefer buying online music, like online downloads, or CDs. Most people ticked CDs, and I gave the option of them ticking that they liked both, like they dabbled in with both online downloads and CDs. Most people clicked CDs, which I was surprised at, because with the ever-expanding technology of online downloads. But this is good. This is encouraging for us, obviously, making a digipack, knowing that it could be quite popular and that design we pick is important because people are going to look at it, say it were to be a real CD. But the fact that people ticked, quite a few people, I think 9 people ticked the both option where they like buying CDs and online content. So that means that perhaps we could incorporate in our digipack like some kind of additional content, some maybe some exclusive online offers, maybe some secret music videos or extra tracks, which would appeal to people as they like CDs and having their digipacks, so that could work. The second question I asked was the cost of the digipack, whether people mind spending lots of money on CDs, whether they don't spend as much on CDs. I gave a few different ranges. I gave they don't want to spend any money at all, less than £5, £5 to £9, and then £10 above. And I also asked whether or not cost even was a factor, and quite a few people ticked that they weren't bothered about the cost. It's more about if they like the CD, they'll go out and purchase it, regardless of cost. Because obviously they want to listen to the music, so spending a bit extra doesn't bother them. This is good as obviously want to incorporate maybe more like an extravagant package, maybe some pullouts, maybe some posters, things like that. Putting a high price tag on that wouldn't put people off. They would want to spend the money on the content, and they'd be happy to spend the money. That also ties into a question I asked, which was, would having additional content in the digipack mean that you'd be willing to spend more money? And it was 90% of people that I asked said yes they would, and 10% said no. So only 3 people said no, which was very encouraging, obviously, because like I said before, if we want to include more like additional stuff, it won't be unrealistic to include additional kind of posters like interviews and artwork, because people would be willing to spend the money on it, and having a high price tag wouldn't put people off in real life if this were a real, obviously if this were a real kind of design which is going to be put in shops. Next I gave 6 album covers and asked people, which of the following album covers do you prefer? You can tick which one you prefer. There was 6 of them. Few from these 4 kind of from the same genre, alternative music, and then I've got a Miley Cyrus one, and she's obviously popular music, and a Jay-Z cover, which is kind of rap, R&B. The designs which I liked the most were the Alt J album was the most popular, which is obviously very encouraging, with 19 people picking that. Obviously you're allowed to pick more than one, so it doesn't all add up to 30. 90 people picked that, then 70 people picked the Arctic Monkeys one, which is good, because we want, and then obviously the Kate Nash one was kind of third. These were our 3 favourites, well, mine and Izzy's, so that's very encouraging that the people that we asked, we kind of did ask people with kind of same music taste as ourselves, purely because the friends we have do like the same music as us, that can't really be helped. But what we like about these album covers, especially for Alt J and the Kate Nash one, is the layering involved and the textures. So we know that if we were to incorporate something like that onto our digipack, that would be received positively, and especially for the target market, we'd be asking which are our friends who like this music, who are the target market for these kinds of CDs. If they like it, that means that putting it on our packaging would be successful. So that was very encouraging. I also asked about disc designs, and I gave 6 different discs, labelled 1 to 6, and said tick which ones you prefer. The ones which were liked the most was disc 3 and 4, which are these 2. They're the most simple designs of them all, and Izzy and I agree these were our 2 favourites as well. The whale, I mean it's not even a real disc, that's just a design I found, but the whale one and the kind of tessellating shapes, mosaic pattern, which was my personal favourite. And as I said before, we do like the idea of incorporating simple shapes, especially as Alt J. Their thing is triangles. That's kind of like their trademark. And being able to incorporate that kind of triangle tessellating shape thing they've got going on is good, because we know it's going to be received positively, and that the target audience are going to like it, because when given options, instead of picking kind of like the more complex, kind of bizarre designs, they've picked the simple ones, kind of more quirky, like the whale, like a bit quirky, which is what Izzy and I prefer, and if it goes alongside with the genre, kind of the quirky alternative music, so that is encouraging as well. The last question I asked in regard to kind of like quantitative research is the frequency of music purchase, how often people buy music, and 60% said they buy it weekly, 30% monthly, and then daily was only 10%. Only three people said they bought it daily, which didn't surprise me at all. People buying things weekly, that's good, because obviously new releases coming out all the time, willing to spend the money on it. Obviously it doesn't really affect us that much, purely because we're not actually going to be selling the CD, it's merely a design. But it's just interesting to find out people are willing to keep up with new uploads, downloads, and all that. So overall, we're very happy with this research for the digipacks, as it went along with everything that we thought was going to happen. Obviously, we asked people that are our own age. The age range was kind of between 17 and 30, which is kind of probably the target audience for Alt J, because they're quite a kind of an alternative, quirky band, not too traditional. So it kind of maybe like an older generation wouldn't perhaps like their music. Maybe we'd have to run another questionnaire and find that out. Who knows? But overall, very, very happy with the questionnaire results, and they've come through positively and exactly what we expected. So all is good.